But if you want to look for a team, I think that is on the tier of those former Chiefs teams. I'm pushing all my chips to the table. I invested in this team weeks ago on the episode. Houston Texans. I'm putting the Houston Texans and I'm booking it. They will make a deep playoff run because that defense is legit. And I know there's concerns about the offensive line, which is very valid concerns. And CJ Stroud has looking shaken or shaky time from time. But I feel like they have the talent on offense. They have like the young guys like Woody Marks. They have the veteran Nick Chubb. They have Nico Collins. They're getting contributions from guys like Jaden Higgins and Christian Kirk and stuff like that. And that defense is legit. Hands down the number one defense in the league, in my opinion. Will Anderson is tearing it up. Still got Daniil Hunter. You got those guys in the interior who I never really heard of until I watched one of their games on prime time. And you got the Stingley in the back. You got Lassiter making plays at the back. You got Petrie. You got
Petrie.
They got
what?
Henry Toto. They got another linebacker. I cannot remember. Yeah, Aziz Al-Shaair. Like they have dudes all over the field. They fly to the ball. They're aggressive. They hit. And they are clutch. They are a clutch team. A lot of these recent games, they've been close, and they find a way to pull through. And I think that defense will travel to the playoffs, in my opinion. Like we've seen them beat up on just about every good offense in the league at this point. They shut down the Colts. They shut down the Bills. They shut down the I want to say the only team to really get up on them was I can't remember who they played. It wasn't many, though. I'll tell you that much. They're the number one defense in the league. Like, I like the Broncos defense as well, but I feel like that Texans defense is just a little bit more vicious, in my opinion. D'Amico Ryans got them boys playing phenomenal football. And the way things are setting up for them, they'll probably end up having a home playoff game. Because I think they'll beat the Colts again. And I think they play the Jags again. So they mess around, win 10, 11 games, get home field in the first round at the very least. And we've seen and don't forget the previous 2 years they made the playoffs and they won one game at least in both of them. Yes. And this is the weakest the AFC has looked in quite some time.
Since we're talking about the Texans, we could also talk about that Chiefs versus Texans game. But, real quick regarding the Texans, I mean, you make valid points, and I'll speak more on the game. But my hesitancy to put a lot of stock in the Texans is what you mentioned. It's the offense. And it's the offense. My thing is, okay, what do you do well? That's the question offensively, because when you have an offense that is the weak link of that team, let's just face it, the defense is what propels them to a really good team. That offense is a weak link. Okay, what do they do well on offense is my thing. And I can't pinpoint exactly what they do well. They don't run the ball all that well. They're not a good passing offense. What we saw against the Chiefs, and we'll speak about that a little bit later. CJ Stroud is not the greatest. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not the biggest guru in terms of fundamentals and footwork, but his footwork can be a bit sloppy at times. I ain't gonna hold you. Like he'll have times where he has a clean pocket.
Used to having no time in the pocket. he get happy feet.
There'll be times where he has a clean pocket and he still, for whatever reason, his footwork is sloppy and he's inaccurate. So you have that to work with. I just can't put a whole lot of stock on this Texans team to potentially make a deep playoff run because of those limitations on offense. If they had one thing going with them on offense, I'd be like, okay, that's cool. All right, I can understand that. I can see how in the playoffs they can lean on that portion of their offense to guide them to a deep playoff run. But they don't have anything that I can hold my hand towards, that I can really plant my flag and say, okay, yeah, see, this is the reason why, because this offense can do X, Y, and Z. They don't have anything like that. It's very inconsistent. Sometimes they'll look good with Woody Marks and whoever's the running back, and then sometimes they can't do anything. And that's my whole problem, because CJ Stroud, all he has to do is be a good game manager. He doesn't have to be Superman. He doesn't have to make all of these wow plays. All he has to do is just take what the defense gives him and complete the layups. And sometimes he just can't do that on a consistent basis. And that's where I'm hesitant. That's all I'll say on that matter.
Which is fair assessment. But here's my thing. The only team that I've seen so far that could genuinely give the Texans, like really shut down the Texans offense, I believe the Texans defense so good, you'll end up with good field position at least 2-3 drives in the game. So the only team I'm really worried about in a matchup, hypothetical matchup, would be a team like the Broncos that has that top tier defense that's going to put a lot of pressure on CJ Stroud, force him into some errant throws. Maybe he'll commit a turnover or two. But other than like the Bills, that defense ain't pressuring anybody. The Patriots they have good interior pressure. Edge pressure is a little non-existent for them, as far as I know. They got good receivers on the back. They got good corners on the back end and the secondary and stuff. But I feel like Drake May does take a lot of sacks. Will Campbell did go down. So that line that offense got a little weaker. So I'm just like, in a hypothetical matchup scenario, the only team that really the Texans are really a bad matchup with is probably the Broncos, and the Broncos even have a shaky offense. So it's going to be this. It's like a mirror match in a sense. It's going to be shaky offense versus shaky offense, elite defense versus shaky offense. So yeah.